Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the Benavidez versus Andrade Showtime pay-per-view preview. as David Benavidez, the Mexican Monster, the undefeated WBC interim champion, a former two-time super middleweight champion of the world, takes on former two-division champion and undefeated Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, as they will collide on this Saturday, November 25th, on Showtime pay-per-view. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. Again, guys, thank you for getting me. I'm at 637 subscribers now, and we're almost to the end of November. I asked you guys to get me to 600 by the end of the month, and you guys went way above and beyond that, and I really wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year if I'm at 700 subscribers, if not more. I love boxing. I love doing these videos for you guys, so, you know, definitely appreciate all the support. But back to this stacked ass card, because that's what it is. It is a pretty stacked card here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out on this card. We start off with the undercard. Opening the show is going to be somewhat of a chess match kind of deal. It's the 130-pound title that's held by Hector Luis Garcia, the WBA 130-pound belt. He's making his mandatory defense against former world title challenger Lamont Roach Jr. Good matchup right here. You know, Garcia's coming off the loss to Tank Davis 10 months ago when he challenged him for his lightweight title at 135. He's trying to, you know, shake off that first defeat and come back down and defend his title successfully here at 130. You know, so he's coming off of a defeat. Prior to that, he had his two best wins, though, in 2022, defeating Roger Gutierrez, and prior to that, the big upset over Chris Colbert, where he dominated Colbert over 12 rounds. So Garcia looking to bounce back here against Lamont Roach, who hasn't fought in close to a year and a half. He last time he fought was in July of last year, 2022. He was waiting around for this title shot, and he has not stayed busy in between. But prior to that, in December of 21, he defeated former world champion Rene Alvarado, and that's what got him started on this move towards a title shot right here. So I'm very interested in seeing this one. You know, Lamont Roach, his only defeat was back in 2019 when he lost to Jamel Herring as he challenged for the WBO title then. I was actually at that fight. That was in Fresno, California. I was actually at that fight, and you know, my thing is Lamont Roach didn't really do much, and that was also a southpaw at the time. I think Hector Luis Garcia is a more active southpaw than Jamel Herring was, and I personally feel like Garcia is going to win this fight by a decision. I do think it's going to be interesting. Not sure how entertaining this fight's going to be. I'll be real with you, but these are both two top 10 guys at 130, and it is a good matchup to open up the telecast. So looking forward to seeing that. I'm picking Hector Luis Garcia by a unanimous decision to retain his title, but I do believe that Lamont Roach Jr., his talent is a high level talent, and I think he can win this fight. You know, I do believe that, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled off the upset, but I definitely think it's going to the scorecards. Then the next fight, I absolutely think it's ending in a knockout. It's gonna be a banger. You're going from a chess match between Garcia and Roach to an absolute fucking banger between Subriel Matias and Shohahan, I believe that's his name, Ergashev, as these two guys are going to collide for Matias's 140-pound title. This will be his first defense. It's a mandatory defense against Ergashev. Matias 19-1, 19 knockouts. His only defeat, he avenged that defeat and knocked out the guy that beat him by a decision. His last fight, he defeated Jeremias Ponce, and it was a competitive bout early, and then he just broke the will of Ponce and stopped him in 5 rounds to capture the vacant IBF title. Ergashev hasn't really fought on a high level yet, but he has a 2.5-inch height advantage. But Matias has a 1-inch reach advantage. And I think that kind of evens them out. But Matias is such a banger, but so is Ergashev. Ergashev is 23-0 with 20 knockouts. So this is a good matchup right here. And I think it's definitely ending in a knockout. I'm picking the favorite, Matias, to knock out Ergashev. I'm not sure how long it lasts because both these guys like to chuck and like to go for knockouts. So it should be a good one. And I'll be honest, if the first fight is a bore fest, this fight should not disappoint. And I hope it doesn't. And hey, I'm going to say that Matias cannot overlook Ergashev with 20 knockouts in 23 fights for that guy. So should be a good one. I'm picking Matias to retain his IBF title. Then in the co-feature, you have undefeated, long-time, inactive WBC middleweight champion Jermall Charlo, not defending his title in a 10-rounder against former world title challenger Jose Benavidez Jr. This fight is, I think, contractually being met at a couple pounds over the 160 limit. Might even be 164. I'm not too thrilled or excited for this one, but I am glad that Charlo is finally returning because, you know, all the shit that he talks and all that bullshit, you got to see the guy in the ring. He does have a name, and he is a good fighter, but, you know, again, I'm not happy with the co-feature, but he is a big name, and I get it. I'm picking Charlo to win this fight over Benavidez. He's bigger. He's the more classic boxer. Benavidez has lost 2 of his last 4 fights. Danny Garcia by a majority decision, and he got knocked out a few years ago against Bud Crawford in the 12th round, but he was competitive in that fight. I think Benavidez will be competitive for a few rounds, but if Charlo can shake off the rust, I think he's just going to box Benavidez, not really mix it up too much. He might be able to knock Benavidez out if he goes for it a little bit, but I think it's going to be more of a methodical type breakdown, and I think he's going to score a 10-round unanimous decision here and stay undefeated and shake off that rust and push forward towards something bigger in 2024. And finally, the other Benavidez, the Mexican monster, the undefeated, former 2-time super middleweight champ, current WBC interim super middleweight champ. He is not a 3-time champion. Don't listen to the guy because that's just not true. But he will square off against the undefeated Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, the former 2-division champion. This is respectively the biggest fight of both fighters' career. David Benavidez coming off of his biggest win over Caleb Plant, the former champ. Benavidez dominated that fight over 12. It was competitive halfway through, and then he took over and dominated. But now he's facing Andrade, who is a widely avoided fighter. And for good reason. The guy's style is not attractive. He's not a big name. And he hasn't really beaten anybody, to be honest. But he has been avoided. You know, I will say he has been avoided. Now, I don't believe his bullshit and some of his fans' bullshit that Canelo has ducked him. Absolutely not. There was no point in fighting Andrade for Canelo. But now, Andrade can shut that door because the guy that everybody wants to see Canelo fight, the guy that a lot of fans say Canelo widely avoids, is the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. And if Boo Boo can pull off the upset over Benavidez, then he will have earned the Canelo fight in my book. And I agree on the same side for David Benavidez. If he beats Demetrius Andrade here, then there is no doubt that Canelo has to fight David Benavidez next. And you know, it might not come next. That fight might not come until next year in September, but Canelo cannot avoid the winner of this fight. That is the point. So there is the undisputed super middleweight title hanging in the grass for the winner of this fight, and I'm very, very much so looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good one. Again, and if you go back and watch my breakdown video, you'll see my full breakdown of what I think of this fight. But I'm just going to give my prediction here. I got Benavidez winning this fight by a stoppage in the middle to later rounds. I just think Andrade is out of his depth in terms of big fights. He hasn't been in many. He's the older fighter by like 9 years, and 8 or 9 years, and Benavidez is just ready. He wants that title fight, but I do believe, because Boo Boo's style, that Benavidez cannot overlook him, and he has to cut the ring off. He cannot let Andrade get into that smooth boxing rhythm that he likes, or he stays away and boxes and uses the angles. Benavidez has to bully him. He has to throw his combinations when he gets in, but how he starts that is with a jab. As he comes in, he needs to hit him with a hard jab and then combination punching, body punching, slow down Andrade, break him down, and stop him. And I think Benavidez will retain the interim title and push forward to Canelo next year. So we'll see what happens. Again, I do not count out Andrade that he can't win this fight. I think he can. I think he is a live underdog, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. That's it. That's what I got. That is the Benavidez versus Andrade Showtime pay-per-view preview. Again, I got Benavidez by stoppage over Andrade. I got Charlo by decision over Benavidez Jr. I have Matias by knockout over Ergashev, and I got Hector Luis Garcia by decision over Lamont Roach Jr. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.